It is Monday morning, September 27th, and you're getting beaten by a hamster. But don't feel too bad because so is Warren Buffett, ARK, Bitcoin, and also the S&P. We're going to talk about that crazy story as well as what's going on with the Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, KOTI charts, and a lot more. You don't want to miss this one today. It's the first stream of the week. I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker. As I said, it is Monday morning and I am hyped. But before we get started, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. As you know, last week we finally made it to 100,000 subscribers. Yeah. Amazing, cheering, all thanks to Rand Nooner and the Crypto Banter family. I know a bunch of you are probably here, so thank you guys for that. We're doing that giveaway live on Friday. We have an app that will randomly choose the 10 winners of $5,000, $500 each in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you are not going to want to miss that one, people. So crazy weekend. Obviously, last week we made it past the China FUD unscathed. All the fear about what was going on in China, and Bitcoin managed to bounce right back. We love to see it. Love to see it. So what can we move on to this week? Well, now that we're done with China FUD, we need something else to be concerned about. And that's obviously the infrastructure bill, which is happening this week. You all remember when the Senate passed the infrastructure bill with harmful language, potentially to crypto. Well, now it's going to the House and should be voted on this week or in the coming week. So that will be the focus, obviously, of the entire crypto industry and the world. But first, I want to talk about this just amazing story. This one. A hamster has been trading cryptocurrencies in a cage, rigged to automatically buy and sell tokens since June, and it's currently outperforming the S&P 500. Not just the S&P 500, guys. Not just the S&P 500. It's also outperformed Bitcoin, a lot of other things. Pretty crazy. They are up since June, I believe, what is it? June 12th is when it started trading. It's up 24%, the hamster. So what does this mean, though? What does this mean? Because we all hear that trading is hard. Well, apparently trading is hard unless you're a German rodent. But if you're a human, trading is very hard. There's a lot of emotion involved. We make bad decisions. Hamsters probably not making emotional decisions. But why do we know that traders fail 95% of the time, but this hamster is crushing it? Well, there are a few reasons we can look at. First, important to note that almost anyone can be successful trading for a very short period of time in the right market conditions. The market completely bottomed in May. This hamster started trading near the bottom in June and obviously has done exceptionally well as a result. There's a concept called random reinforcement. I talk about it all the time in markets. I'll give you a very brief example. Let's say there's a guy named Bob. Bob wants to be a trader. He's been watching, he's been studying, he's been reading. So he randomly buys some altcoin with $1,000 of his money, right? That altcoin goes up 100x in the first week. Bob goes, I'm going to be a professional trader. I'm a Giga Chad. I'm amazing. And he does it again with no plan over and over. We all know how that ends, right? He loses all of that money. The market gave him random reinforcement that he was a good trader because he had one trade or one series of trades that went well. We know that this hamster is going to lose all of his money if he enters into a bear market and keeps buying and selling altcoins aggressively. But it is a message that in a bull market, anyone can do well if they simply are just in the market. Being on the sidelines on the crypto market is a fool's errand. Sitting in USDT, trying to time it, trying to think, oh, it's going to go here, it's going to go there, I'm going to get back in. That is a fool's errand. You need to be in the market like this hamster. And what's the other side of the Bob story, if you're curious? So random reinforcement obviously reinforces bad behavior and makes you think that you're a Giga Chad epic trader when you're not. What's the other side of that? The other side of random reinforcement when you're a trader is when you actually have a plan, right? You study, you learn, you trade, you become very good at trading, and you have a plan. Then you take 10 trades in a row, and what happens? Perfect to your plan, you stop out 10 times in a row, right? And then what happens? You get super pissed off, you revenge trade, you go all in on something for no reason because you're pissed, and it goes up. It goes up. And that reinforces your bad behavior once again. Random reinforcement. Your good behavior was punished and your bad behavior was rewarded. And then you go back into the cycle of being the original Bob until you lose all of your money. That's why trading is a decade, 20, 30-year pursuit, and you can't judge a trader's success on a short period of time. That is how this works. Random reinforcement, and that's what's happening with the hamster. This is a great question from Dr. Dipple. Did they feed the hamster white nose powder like the Wall Street people? I don't know. He's probably has just he's got better drugs, and that's why the hamster's doing this. But I do want to take a look at the Bitcoin chart right now. As we discussed, it's had a nice bounce after the China FUD. Here's what's happening. The weekly chart, you guys, I'm just going to stay pretty zoomed out here because I talked about the weekly chart. We saw this major dip, and we saw price close below this key level of 42K on the daily. But I said over and over again, we need to see what happens on the weekly. This is a macro support, right? This is the most major line, I would say, on the entire chart, most consequential line on the entire chart. Why? Price pumped to 42K after breaking 20K, right? We saw it basically double after finally breaking the all-time high. Consolidated for a month, Tesla buys, breaks out. Elon Musk says Tesla's not going to take Bitcoin for cars, dumps back through, stayed under for resistance for another 3 months. That's half the year that it's been under 42K as the key resistance, right? And this was the first retest as support. A test of resistance as support on a macro level is very bullish, assuming it succeeds. It's very scary, though, when it happens, right? And people start to panic. 42K, oh, crap, we're going to 30. I don't know why, but psychologically, people are always, human beings, the most bearish at support and the most bullish at resistance. Those are the times when you get a fever pitch of fear or greed. Well, we saw what was happening when price was trading around here. It dipped below and came back above, and I said, we want to see what happens on the close. It did inevitably close above with this nice wick, holding the 50 MA as well. Nothing to see here, in my opinion. Obviously, we have been trending down since 54K, 53K, whatever it was. This is a lower high macro. So now we're in search of a higher low. That may be it right there. Let's take a quick look at the daily chart on the line chart. I just want to show you something. This is sort of the idea that we have going on right now. We have this descending resistance. You can see it on the candle chart as well. The reason I showed it on the line chart is it's much cleaner. And also it's fun. This is not really such a significant line at the moment, but I like to draw the same patterns on RSI. And it's very clean when you look at it on the line chart. You can see that RSI is potentially breaking out here. This is today. This is yesterday. It has not broken out until it confirms that break. If that happens, it usually precedes price. So it's a really nice technique to sometimes draw lines on indicators because it will precede the price movement that is coming next. So guys, we have all the Bitcoin news, a hamster that's out trading anyone. And now the big news of the weekend was the Cardano Summit 2021. Of course, I'm just go quickly through all the things that we learned at the Cardano Summit because everybody has been waiting to see what happens. Cardano got smart contracts. Now what? Why is it the third largest cryptocurrency? When are they going to start delivering things? Well, now we have an idea of what's going to happen. First, just a cool piece of news. Cardano's Charles Hoskinson donates $20 million to build math center at Carnegie Mellon University. The center will work in close collaboration with faculty, students, and researchers across campus. I just think that's a really cool story, very generous of him, and will definitely advance the knowledge in the space further. Now, next, we have Cardano announces partnerships with Dish Network Chainlink. The tie-up with Chainlink will allow added support for developers working on the Cardano blockchain to develop smart contracts. Pretty vague as to what these announcements mean. It says that they've entered with Dish Network, said they've entered a deal to help Dish integrate the Cardano blockchain into its telecom business and help provide digital identity services to Dish customers. I'm not sure exactly what that means from a technical perspective, but this is a huge partnership, assuming that it's something very real and definitely worth watching. That is real utility being used on Cardano for sure. Cardano's commercial arm to invest $100 million in DeFi. Dude, Charles Hoskinson just making it rain. Making it rain. He's like Lil Wayne in the club, bringing in stacks of hundreds and just throwing them up in the air. If you don't like Lil Wayne, DJ Khaled, maybe he does that too. But yeah, a dedicated operation will commence next year to further DeFi, NFT solutions, and blockchain education efforts. You can say whatever you want. They are definitely investing in the space and in education and trying to build significantly there. And then, of course, Cardano will soon have its first stablecoin. Cardano is going to have its first stablecoin, DJED. First of all, DJED would be a cool DJ name. If you pronounce it DJ'd, well, I did that for 20 years and I'm not that impressed. I guess you could pronounce it like a Jed. DJED, is it Jed? Well, listen to a story about a man named Jed pouring out me a kiss fan fed. Then one day he was shooting for some food and up from the ground came a bubbling crude. For those of you who are old enough to remember black and white TV, that was a theme song of the Beverly Hillbillies, and the main character was Jed. He struck oil, Jed. I don't know. Is it Jed, DeJed, DJ'd? It doesn't matter. But software development company KOTI announced a few hours ago the issuance of the first stablecoin designed to run on Cardano. So very cool. We're finally starting to see some utility, but I don't get the name. Jed? Jed. Let's take a look, though, at the ADA charts versus Bitcoin. This seemed like it was a sell the news summit. We often see that when there's big news surrounding a coin, that there's a lot of sort of build up into the big event, and then we see a bit of a sell off. Not doing particularly well against Bitcoin here. That was a very toppy candle right there, shooting star heading down. You want to see it hold this range, but most of you are probably trading it on the USDT pair. I would just say at this point, you want to see it break out of this blue line. Otherwise, nothing to see here. Really not a great trade, but this break should take it back to $3.10. So that would be a real trade opportunity. Let's take a look at KOTI too. Also, they did the deal with. I don't use, when I'm looking at a chart, I don't count that first sort of candle when it comes on exchange. So I basically consider this to be the all-time high, and we're trading right around it. So KOTI does have a legitimate chance to go into price discovery here once again, but at the moment, not loving that high wick and the descending volume. That looks like a bit of a top. So maybe you get an entry down here at the next level. That would be a pretty good place to start looking at it. That, of course, is on the Bitcoin pair. I can try to pull up the chart on the USDT pair. I've actually never looked at it, I don't think. Let's take a look here what we got. Let's change these colors, make it more attractive for the kids. Yeah, I mean, kind of the same story, right? This appears to be the all-time high right here. Is that correct? Yeah. And it's trading right below it. That is a savage bearish SFP. We talk about those all the time, swing failure pattern. That means that price was pushed up into this area above the highest swing high. In this case, the all-time high. And that found liquidity for sellers. So now we're consolidating under resistance. You don't want to see the drop. You want to see a flip. But if you are trying to trade KOTI at this point, I'd be looking for something like this. You want to close above and then catch it there as a retest. I'm curious, have any of you guys invested in these coins? Are any of you in ADA? Are you in KOTI? What do you think about what's happening with ADA? Do you believe that Cardano is really an Ethereum killer? I would love to see your thoughts here on Cardano, if you guys have it. This guy said DJ Khaled. No, Khaled is the singer. DJ Khaled is the guy who pays people to make songs. That's all he does. He goes, DJ Khaled, we the best music. And then he gets rich doing that. But yeah, it doesn't seem like any of you are commenting on ADA over here. So maybe you guys aren't so into ADA. I'm going to keep it moving for, oh, here you go. Lost some ADA. In ADA since $1, just waiting. That's a really, really nice entry right there. If this continues to boom, you're going to be in great shape there, right? You're loving that entry for now, for sure. All right, now continuing on with the rest of the news. Robinhood Crypto COO CTO hint that DeFi features are coming. Robinhood's forthcoming crypto wallet is the first step, Christine Brown said, toward helping customers use their coins to do things in the crypto ecosystem. So if you guys don't know, and I'm actually going to publish it today on YouTube, but I had the exclusive opportunity to talk to Vlad Tenev, the CEO of Robinhood, on Spaces last week. They asked me to interview him right after this news came out. It was a huge deal for me. And like I said, that conversation will be out in a few hours, probably this evening on YouTube. But the big news, obviously, was When Wallet. People have wanted the functionality to send and receive crypto to their Robinhood wallet for ages. One of the biggest criticisms has been, well, you're not really buying Bitcoin if you can't remove it from the platform. Well, now that's happening. And he hinted at it in our conversation as well. But now they're kind of going clearly to say, hey, eventually we're going to have staking and interest, assuming the United States government allows us. And it will probably be a fully functional platform for crypto. I think this is really big for Robinhood and a very good step for mainstream adoption, because so many mainstream people obviously use the platform. Now, Axie Infinity co-founder, gaming is the key to crypto adoption. Now, listen, I even went on like Fox News and talked about this. I think that crypto gaming is a huge space, and that, first of all, we're seeing way too many projects right now. Most will fail, of course. Like anything in crypto, you see a ton of innovation and then the cream rises to the top. But in-game economies and crypto gaming and being able to live literally in the metaverse and out of the real world, making money and having a job and earning income is absolutely incredible. Well, Sky Mavis is the company that made Axie Infinity. Their co-founder and growth lead sat down with Decrypt EIC to discuss NFTs and gaming. And this was at the Mainnet conference. And he basically said that the entire future in his mind of crypto adoption is in gaming, that buying and selling NFTs, playing these games is the single thing that will bring in the mainstream. And as we know, listen, gaming is a huge industry. It's bigger than sports, right? I mean, gaming is a massive industry. So imagine if all of that starts to happen on the blockchain, in the crypto space, with people earning real money doing it, and not just professional gamers. Your average person sitting at home, teenager, will be able to make literally a living just playing games. It's absolutely incredible, and I do believe it's the future. So China crypto ban is big opportunity for the United States, key senator says. Now, we know Pat Toomey has been a big fan of crypto. He was one of the people alongside Cynthia Loomis, who I am interviewing tomorrow. We had it canceled before, interviewing tomorrow, of trying to fight the infrastructure bill. Well, here's what he said. Beijing is so hostile to economic freedom, they cannot even tolerate their people participating in what is arguably the most exciting innovation in finance in decades. Economic liberty leads to faster growth and ultimately a higher standard living for all. But clearly he's saying, if China is going to ban this, why would the United States do what China does? Do the opposite. Take advantage. China is kicking out miners. They could have controlled the Bitcoin network in theory if they wanted to, but instead they just love to ban things. That's what China does. Ban Google, ban Facebook. They'd try to ban the internet if they could. Ban all of the messenger platforms. Create your own insular economy and world. Don't let the people escape. Well, crypto offers freedom, and the United States is supposed to be about freedom. Toomey is absolutely right here. We can all hope that the United States will see this opportunity and will take it by the reins and give us some reasonable and sensible regulation, for God's sakes. This is an interesting story. USD sell-off against yuan intensifies on crypto OTCs after China's crackdown. So as you know, China is cracking down. They're starting to make all crypto activities illegal. And that means for a lot of people, they're probably panicking to get their money out. And what that has amounted to is that USDT is effectively trading at a discount OTC. Here it says, over the past day, the negative premium is large to now 4.3% in the foreign exchange market. $1 is worth about 6.47 Chinese yuan. And now it's selling at about 6.12 yuan per USDT. So yeah, it's a stable coin until everybody obviously, and there's nothing against USDT to be clear, but when there's a rush on the market and people are rushing to sell it, this is not a redemption of USDT. This is just people saying, I will pay a premium to get out of my crypto before the government cracks down. I feel very bad for the people. It's very sad. UOB to gradually expel its China users in wake of ban token slide to 8-month low. Yes, of course the token's not doing well, but at least they're offering some guidance. Hobie Exchange saying, listen, this is how it's going to go down. This is how it's going to happen. You know, we're going to make sure that everybody has access to their funds until the end of the year, December 31st, they're saying. But Chinese users, you're going to have to get off of our platform. This is real. This is absolutely happening, but it's happening in an orderly manner, and it's been happening for years. And it's amazing that it's not rocking the market in the way it does. Somebody tweeted me. They said, what do you think happens when everybody in China sells their Bitcoin, Scott? And I was like, I don't know. We buy it. Simple. We buy it, but frankly, they're not even allowed to sell it right now. So good luck with that. Decentralized exchange tokens boom as Chinese investors look for alternatives. Many DEX tokens have soared in the past 24 hours, with some protocols trading volumes surpassing those of large centralized exchanges. They're specifically talking about DYDX. Is it DIDEX? Is it DIDEX? Is it DODEX? I don't know. DJs and musicians love to do this too. They think it's really cool to have a DJ name where you get rid of all the vowels and then nobody knows how to pronounce it. Like, oh, my name's Black, but it's $BL$K. Blick, blick. Are you blick? Are you block? Are you bloke? I don't know what your name is. Use vowels. They're there for a reason. But DYDX, DIDEX, is actually seeing larger volume than Coinbase in the United States. And that's because people are rushing to decentralized exchanges as they have issues with centralized exchanges in China. Kind of part of the same story, but we all know that decentralization is the future and that this is the trend. Finally, Rich Dad Poor Dad's author now invests in ETH after Bitcoin and gold. The multimillionaire author of Rich Dad Poor Dad is telling his followers to seize a number of assets while they can, including Ethereum. It's, of course, Robert Kiyosaki. We never really heard him talking about ETH before. And now we all know by now, I'm sure that you believe he knows that there's a great crash coming, the greatest crash of all time, and that you should be buying metals, you should be buying crypto, you should be buying all these things as a hedge against it. But it's very interesting to see him moving into Ethereum here as well. Maybe he's listening to people like me who say Ethereum is an essential asset, that everyone should have it in their portfolio, and it probably has more upside than Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the chart. Nothing doing, same as we've been, but interesting to see this, the EQ, this equilibrium over and over holding his support, right? Flipped it here on the breakout of that wedge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles have wicked below it and it's closed above. That's showing a hell of a lot of demand on the Bitcoin pair. And on the USD pair, still same as Bitcoin, right? Holding the top of the range here after temporarily breaking down. But for me, kind of that same resistance I showed you on the Bitcoin line chart, we want to see a break above this descending channel to give us confirmation that Ethereum is likely head up. Poor dad stayed poor because he had gold. Well, still having gold, as much as we like to make fun of it, is better than saving in dollars. At least it's keeping somewhat of a stable value. I'm curious, how did you guys survive the volatility on Friday? Was that bad for you? Was it good for you? We saw the craziness with the China FUD hitting, and then we saw at the same time as we had expirations on the CME and Deribit for the month. Really a kind of a huge day. So I'm curious if you guys managed to survive that. I hope that none of you were using heavy leverage and getting stopped out or anything like that. You're welcome, Jared. Thank you very much. So guys, listen, I will be back again at 1:30 p.m. EDT today. Hopefully we will not be talking about the rodents that are outperforming us at that time. So guys, tune in again. That will be in about 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours, and look for my interview with the CEO of Robinhood. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. There's so much going on in this market. It's amazing that I get to report on it every day. So thank you very much for watching. Until a few hours from now, peace.